Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Point Blank. I am your host, the one and only reformed bad boy, Dryden Joss, here again with another episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in this beautiful Friday morning. I hope that I am the best part of your morning. If not, I'll get over it. Honestly, I'll get over it. Today, we'll be discussing two funnier / fun articles, and we're going to sandwich those around this, quite honestly, a terrible article, recent news that has happened. So I'm going to kind of leave the bad news in the middle of two better news. I want to have a fun Friday. End of a week should be good. We shouldn't have too many difficult things to talk about on a Friday going into the weekend. First thing is UMass, University of Massachusetts, is going to hold a Pride Day when my alma mater, Liberty University, when our football team visits them in Amherst, Massachusetts. So this comes from ESPN. This is ESPN News. This isn't some fringe article, some fringe journalism site. This is ESPN News. Says UMass to hold Pride Day when Liberty football visits. The University of Massachusetts is planning to hold a Pride Day on the same day that the Minutemen host Evangelical College Liberty in a football game. The school made this special announcement Sunday on Twitter in a 37-second video featuring techno music and a uniformed player standing in a room lit by rainbow colors associated with LGBTQ community. It ends showing how to get tickets for the October 8th game. Maybe we should watch this real quick. Let's all watch this together. I'm going to click the link and we can watch this together. All right, so here for those who are listening to audio, you see a football player. He is dancing around neon lights that are in the color of the rainbow. And it says, Happy Pride Day, October 8th. Buy your tickets now. It's really loud music. Oh my goodness, I had to turn that down for you guys. Anyway, this is actually the college I graduated from, Liberty University. We're going to be playing UMass in Massachusetts, and they are going to be super gay. And honestly, here's the thing. This always happens, is that the left always thinks that they're trolling Christians when they become more flamboyant. They think they're hurting us. You know, they call us homophobic. I'm not scared of gay people. I'm not scared of sodomites. You are definitely annoying, and you're definitely outrageous. But here, this is a good troll, but not really. I think that if UMass was to really troll Liberty, I want them to be so gay. I want them to change the uniform. I want these football players to walk out in leather uniforms with like straps all over them. And like, I want this so gay. I want this so homosexual, like monkeypox gay. That's what I'm talking here. That's what I want. I want them to run onto the field, these football players, and strip into mankinis, banana hammocks. That's how gay I want this to be. Because that would really show us evil, terrible, homophobic Christians. That would really show us if all the guys on the field just started making out in a pile, like a dog pile. That would really show us. And so if you guys can do that, that would be good. But I don't think that's going to happen. But I just want to make this apparent that Christians, by definition, aren't homophobic. We aren't scared of you. But the Christians that actually hold to what Jesus has said and the words of Holy Scriptures say, we're not homophobic. We're not scared. We're just telling you guys what's going to happen when you deny God's moral law and his natural law, because this is bad behavior. And that's what we'd like to point out. It's not that we hate you guys. It's just that you guys are doing something that is punishable by death according to God himself. And then you say we're scared of you. Not really. I think we're just more scared of God in a respectful manner. Anyway, I do want to read some scripture. 1 Corinthians 6:9 says, "Or do you not know that the unrighteous will not inherit the kingdom of God? Do not be deceived, neither the sexually immoral, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor men who practice homosexuality." So yeah, I don't follow football too closely, especially not college football. But what I've heard is that UMass has a pretty bad team this season, and Liberty's team is halfway decent. So I cannot wait for the Christian team to stomp you guys in your own field, because that will mirror how God stomps homosexuals for eternity if you guys don't repent. Just saying. There is a little bit of eschatology in there somewhere, in the fact that football is a game where you slowly gain ground. You're slowly inching along, gaining ground, and that is what the church is doing in the world. You are watching the church slowly, and I mean molasses slowly. Got a little southern there. Take over. The church is spreading like wildfire. And the homosexuals, the sodomites, the trannies, the queers are not going to win. You're not going to win. Now, unfortunately, I do have to get into some solemn news. I know that UMass versus Liberty, UMass being super gay to try to troll us conservative Christians. That's pretty funny. Their little promo video, it's funny. What's not funny is this comes from Deseret? What is that? What is Deseret? I've never heard of that. This comes from Deseret News. The title is "Man Admits to Killing Republican Teen After Argument, but is Released on a $50,000 Bail." Real quick, I just going from the title alone, I want to remember Kyle Rittenhouse's bail. So let's see. $1 million. Oh, it's $2 million. Okay. So I'm going to keep that in mind as we read this. Man admits to killing Republican teen after argument, but is released on a $50,000 bail. In North Dakota, a man admitted, keep that in mind, it's even underlined here, admitted to fatally hitting a teenager with his car after the two had a political argument. He spent just days in bail before posting a $50,000 bond. Shannon Brandt, that's his name? His name is Shannon? Why has he got a girl's name? Shannon Brandt, 41, was arrested Sunday after he told the first responders that he struck the pedestrian because the pedestrian was threatening him, according to a probable cause I don't know what that word is. According to a probable cause acquired by Fox News Digital. Brandt stated that the pedestrian called some people, and Brandt was afraid they were coming to get him, the document states. Brandt admitted to state radio that he hit the pedestrian and that the pedestrian was part of a Republican extremist group. His words. Around 2:35 a.m. on a Sunday, Brandt allegedly killed an 18-year-old Kayler Ellingson. Why can't I read tonight? What are these names? Okay, can we have normal names? Like, I'm not one to talk, my name being Dryden Joss, but we need more normal names, except for me and my children's. They'll have cool names. But Kayler Ellingson, by hitting him with his SUV in an alley in McHenry, North Dakota, according to a news release posted by the North Dakota Highway Patrol. Brandt initially fled the scene, then returned and called police officers before leaving a second time, according to the Highway Patrol and CNN. Brandt was arrested at his home and booked into jail, where a breath test registered that his blood alcohol content was above the legal limit, according to the probable cause document. Shortly before the incident, Ellingson called his mother to ask for a ride home and to ask if the family knew Brandt. A short while later, he called a second time to say he or they were chasing him. Ellingson's mother said she couldn't reach her son after the second call. First responders found Ellingson with critical injuries. He was rushed to a nearby hospital, but succumbed to his injuries shortly after and was pronounced dead. Brandt was booked into Stutsman County Jail on charges of vehicular homicide and leaving the scene of an accident. On Monday, he told the judge he didn't understand the differences in the charges, according to Locals News video footage. Brandt argued the bail was too high because he was not a flight risk. $50,000 is too high. We're gonna remember that. $50,000 is too high. Here's him saying, I have a job, a life, and a house, and things I don't exactly want to see go by the wayside. Family that are very important to me, he said. Ellingston's parents told police they know Brandt, but do not believe the teenager did. Brandt has not yet entered a plea. It is due in court October 11th, according to court records. If convicted, he faces a minimum of 10 years in prison. That is not enough. I know that was a lot, but I'm going to recap. This man, Brandt, kills an 18-year-old with a car. And he admits he killed him because of a political disagreement. This man who was drunk or buzzed at 2:35 a.m. killed a teenager, 18. He is legally an adult, a man, a teenager. Killed him for a political disagreement. He gets a $50,000 bail, which he says is too much because, quote, I'm going to read the quote because, quote, I have a job, a life, and a house, and things I don't exactly want to see go by the wayside. Family, that's very important to me. Trying not to get mad right now. This man kills a teenager, goes to jail, $50,000 bail, and says, I have a job and a life and a house and a family. It's very important to me. I don't want to leave them. Well, maybe, you stupid retard. The kid you killed also had a job and a life and a house and a family that was very important to him. And now you've deprived him from life and you've deprived his family from him. The audacity of this arrogant, self-centered prick to kill someone and then complain about his $50,000 bail after admitting why he killed him. A political disagreement. This is what the left can get away with. Kyle Rittenhouse, I just looked it up, $2 million bail when there was video footage and drone surveillance of him killing 2 people and maiming a third in self-defense. He was being chased by a man. At the time, he didn't know he was a predator. He didn't know he was a 5-time child rapist. He didn't know that. So we're not gonna give him that. We're not gonna call Kyle Rittenhouse a hero because he didn't know. He was just defending himself from a man chasing him. $2 million bail. This man here, Brandt, admits he killed this 18-year-old kid over a political disagreement at 2:35 in the morning. And he has the audacity to complain about a $50,000 bail. That is not enough. This man, biblically, should be publicly executed. He should be stoned. You know, I get a lot of flack for being a pro-life Christian who is also pro-death penalty. So many people point out this acclaimed hypocrisy, but it's not hypocrisy. I am pro-life and I am pro-death penalty because they are both the same thing. Listen to these verses. Exodus 21:12. Whoever strikes a man so that he dies shall be put to death. Leviticus 24:17. Whoever takes a human life shall surely be put to death. When you kill someone, when you murder someone with intention, when you intend to kill someone and follow through with that, you forego your right to life. We see this all the time. I've made videos on this before. The people who go to jail for terrible, violent crimes, rapes, murders, and then they get out and they do it again. They do it again. This man who killed someone because of a political disagreement, not to mention, this guy is 41 years old. He killed someone over a political disagreement. This man should never have the possibility or the chance to do it again. He should be publicly executed on national news so that everyone can look at that and say, wow, I don't want to be publicly executed, so maybe I'm not going to kill people. This makes me so upset. He killed a pedestrian. He killed this kid. You know, eventually more information will come out. It says October 11th is the court case. We will get more information. Maybe I'm speaking too brashly, too bluntly, and too soon. Maybe we don't know all the details. But this man admitted why he killed him. Starts with the fake story of, oh, the kid was threatening me. But then he says, no, actually I killed him because he was a Republican extremist. Who's the extreme one in this situation? The leftist man who killed a Republican kid, or the Republican kid who just had a disagreement? Who's the extremist? I want to get a little theological on you guys. We're going to read a longer chunk of scripture in its entirety. This comes from Romans 13, verse 1 through 5. Let every person be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and those that exist have been instituted by God. Therefore, whoever resists the authorities resist what God has appointed, and those who resist will incur judgment. For rulers are not a terror to good conduct, but to bad. Would you have no fear of the one who is in authority? Then do what is good, and you will receive his approval. For he is God's servant for your good. But if you do wrong, be afraid, for he does not bear the sword in vain. For he is a servant of God, an avenger who carries out God's wrath on the wrongdoer. Therefore, one must be in subjection, not only to avoid God's wrath, but also for the sake of the conscience. I want you guys to understand me right now. I am not calling for violence. I said this man should be publicly executed by the governing authorities, not by me, not by some random guy. I'm not advocating for violence. I'm advocating for justice, for the death penalty. For he is God's servant for your good. If you do wrong, be afraid, for he does not bear the sword in vain. What does a sword do? What does a sword do? It kills. The sword is the tool of death. And in this circumstance, in Romans 13, it is God's wrath upon the evildoer, the sword. Full circle, pro-life. I am so pro-life that people who are pro-death should die. Anyone who murders should die. He has foregone his right to life. And we have to be pro-life and protect the community from him by killing him. I don't want him in prison, suckling the teat of the citizens and their taxpayer dollars. No. He deserves to meet God face to face and pay for it, what he's done. This family here will never get their son back. He's dead. And nothing's going to happen from this. This man's going to get a minimum of 10 years. He's got all the leftists rooting for him. He's a hero because he killed a Republican, quote, Republican extremist. He's going to get off scot-free. What's the reverse of this? We don't even have to bring it up, but it's Kyle Rittenhouse. Self-defense. $2 million bail. Almost loses his entire life. He would have gone to prison for life. It's so frustrating. And I'm sorry to bring you this on a Friday. Here's what we can do. Here's the solution. Is one, protect your kids. I don't care if they're 18 and technically an adult. Your 18-year-old should not be out at 2:35 a.m. on a Sunday. Protect your children. Know where they are. Be there. Don't let them hang out with losers and lowlives like this guy. Pathetic human being. Scum. Protect your children. That's what we can do. That's step number 1, is protect your children. Step number 2 is keep speaking about this. Bring it up. Tell people about this. Make sure people know that this was a liberal leftist who did this. Keep talking about it. Step number 3, probably the most important one, is to pray for this family. They are hurting. They are suffering over the loss of their child. So we should pray for this family. And other than that, you know the typical spiel, vote, all that sort of thing. I don't know how voting's going to get you anywhere. I mean, obviously, I still vote. I believe in voting. But there's so much election fraud and crummy politicians that it almost seems pointless. So what you could do in the meantime is get your concealed carry. If you live in a state that has sanctuary, if you live in a state that has constitutional carry a gun. You need it. You have no idea when something like this is going to happen. Carry a weapon. Carry a gun. And if someone attacks you, only in self-defense, you shoot that guy until he's on the ground and he's not moving. All right, let's take a deep breath. Gonna drink some water. And we'll get into our third article of the day. This comes from Daily Wire. It says, shell-shocked, Venom star secretly enters martial arts fighting competition and then wins the whole thing. Tom Hardy literally shocked opponents at a martial arts fighting competition in England when he secretly entered a Brazilian jiu-jitsu event and walked away winning the whole thing. The 45-year-old actor didn't enter the 2022 Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Opening Championship of the weekend using his stage name, but his real name, Edward, The Guardian reported. No competitors knew he was the one they would be grappling with until they were face-to-face. I was shell-shocked, competitor Danny Appleby shared. Except he said it in a British accent, right? I was shell-shocked. Then Hardy said, just forget it's me and do what you would normally do. Appleby said Hardy is a really strong guy, which he found surprising, given he's a celebrity. I've done about 6 tournaments, and I've been on the podium in every single one, the athlete added. But he's probably the toughest competitor I've ever had, and he certainly lived up to his Bane character, that's for sure. I really like this story. It's a happier story. I really don't have an angle. I don't have a rant or something to spiel on this article. I just really like it. I like it when actors and celebrities seem personable. They seem human. Because a lot of the time you see actors and celebrities hanging out with other celebrities and other actors. And they seem like these untouchable demigods sort of thing. So it's nice to see Tom Hardy doing normal people stuff. And I like that the people gave him a fair fight. You know, none of them gave up or didn't hit him as hard just to let him win. It's nice to see that he won fair and square. I like that. But I also just imagine entering a tournament to fight guys, and your next your next opponent, you look up and there's Bane. And he puts his hand on your neck and says, "And this gives you power over me? Do you feel in charge?" That'd be awesome. I want to fight him now. I don't know how to fight. I'm going to learn how to fight just so I can fight him. I think that'd be super cool. But yeah, no angle, nothing on it, just super nice. Let's end this Friday on a happier note. After the worst of the worst. And let's get into some comments. Before I do, I just gotta let you guys know I've been busy all week working. I've been driving a skid steer. If you don't know what that is, it's a bobcat. It's like a mini bulldozer. And I've been driving it all week, just clearing the forest around the farm and making gravel paths, just going from the gravel pile and taking some and then putting it on the paths, making some nice paths. And I gotta say, I am a natural. And I really enjoy it. Like, I would drop everything to drive a skid steer. Professionally, I think it's super fun. I really like it. Super enjoyable. It's a great time. I sit in it. There's air conditioning. I'm wearing Crocs. You know, I'm comfy. And I just listen to podcasts and books, music, and I really just zone out. It's a good time. The air conditioning's amazing. It's phenomenal. Comments section. Rockin' Angel 3 says, it's baffling that we still have to deal with all of this. And this is about yesterday's episode with the guy with the giant fake boobs. Thank goodness for reformed bad boys preserving in discussing elementary knowledge that should have been easily grasped upon its hearing once. So true. Thank you. You know, we need the reformed bad boys to really point out the obvious that men can't be women and women can't be men. It's sad that I have to talk about such things that are beneath me. I'd rather be talking about much more difficult to grasp concepts and subjects and ideas. But no, we gotta cover the basics. Guys can't be women, and women can't be guys. Rockin' Angel 3 also says, Dryden is trying not to give a big old grin when talking about killing the snake. Hey, what can I say? I killed that snake. It was awesome. It was epic. I'm the best. COVID Dev says the school board should be abolished. You know, it's not that we need to abolish the school board. It's just that we need good people on the school board. That's where I would start. We just need good people on the school board, which means good people who are typically busy actually running businesses and taking care of their families need to, unfortunately, spend a little less time with their family and businesses and join something as god-awful as a school board. But it has to be done. It has to be done. Or else the left and the Satanists and the crazy weirdos, whack jobs, trannies, they'll run the school board if good people don't. Because someone has to run it. Or what you could do is put your kids in homeschool. You know, I'm just a kid myself. I don't have kids. You know, someday I'd like 24 kids, 12 daughters and 12 sons. But I'm going to homeschool them. I'm going to work on a curriculum, me and my future wife, and that's that. No public school. I've been to public school. It's not great. I would just argue with all my teachers, because I did. I argued with all my teachers back in the day. You know, I had 10 years of private education, and then my senior year was public school. And I argued with my biology teacher, and I argued with my government feminist teacher. She was crazy. Victor Saavedra says, nice video, man. People need to understand that humanity has lost their mind, thinking that this teacher, what he's showing is correct, and we need to keep pursuing what a man and woman actually are in front of the Lord. True. That's what men and women actually are in front of the Lord. That's what we are. Men and women are, how do I want to say this? Men and women are indeed more than their private parts, but their private parts do classify who's a man and a woman. Meaning a man can do socially womanly things, but then he's just a bad man for doing womanly things. All right. Harley Shipway just says, wrong. That's not very helpful. I I don't know. And then finally, Fruity says, before you, quote, preach, shave that little caterpillar off your lip. I don't have a caterpillar on my lip. I'm looking right now. I can see myself on the screen, and yeah, I'm not seeing a caterpillar. And I know what they look like. I've seen little black caterpillars, little white caterpillars. I've seen saddleback caterpillars. Caterpillars. It's kind of hard to say after a while. Kind of hard to say. Anyway, guys, that's pretty much all I have for you this beautiful Friday. I'm sorry to ruin your day with the death of an innocent man, but, you know, this stuff needs to be talked about. People need to be aware of this. So I hope you forgive me. All right. As always, big thanks to the Patreon. Thank you, guys. I want to thank our patrons so much for their financial support of the show. It is a blessing. And you guys really prove to me that this is worth it. You know, I'm uploading 3 days a week on all platforms. Make sure you check it out. There's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible, everywhere. YouTube for the video. Thank you guys so much for that financial support. I really appreciate it. Also, if you haven't already, please join my Discord. You can click the link in the description below. You can join the Discord where you can reach me and ask me questions. If not, just leave questions in the YouTube video like a poor person. So you have that on your plate. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Have a blessed weekend. I love you all. Goodbye.